Hey everybody, my name is Jessica Moody. I am the Director of Programs for Create Birmingham. And I have with me Autumn Sanders, who is our facilitator for
Hello.
Cohort 29. Hold on. Sorry, it was playing on another screen. So I am really excited that you guys are here to join us. So this is Cohort 29. And if you don't, I'm going to give you a little bit of background into what Co-Starters is. Some of you don't realize the kind of work that everybody is putting into it. This group meets 3 hours once a week for 10 weeks. And then this 11th week culminates in a celebration night. So typically we meet in person and we have a big potluck and it's a big party. But because of the world, we have held this cohort virtually, which I think is a little bit more challenging because it's really hard to stay engaged over a screen for 3 hours at a time. So congratulate this group on staying engaged and staying here and showing up every week and being fully present. They're going to share some really great ideas with you. Some of them have fully launched, some of them are startups. We've got some great makers. We've got some people who are launching really great spaces. And some of you can go ahead and buy from and shop from today for the holidays. Yeah, I'm excited for everybody to join and watch what everybody's doing. If you're watching on YouTube, which you are, sign in and you can comment, ask them questions, and we'll pull some of those up on screen like we're already doing. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. Autumn, thanks for being our facilitator. I know it's a lot of work for you, but you always do so well, and we're always so happy to have you as our facilitator. And
Thanks.
we'll go ahead and get started. If you want to share any thoughts.
No, this is a good group. So we actually have 5 presenters that are with us this evening, and this was an all-female cohort. This was a cohort where everyone was doing a for-profit business, and that's one of the things that we can get a mix of in co-starters. But I think it really made for a group of women and a group of founders who could speak from a similar language and place and support each other throughout their ideas. We've had a couple of people who have already, at least 1 or 2 people who have already pitched in other events. And so this is just kind of a victory lap for them. So I'm really proud to see that folks are already taking what they're learning and using it to further their businesses. Like Jessica said, there are people that you can shop from today. And that's really exciting to see people who are already in the market, who already have something that you can engage in, especially around the holidays. Holidays are not a bad time to shop for yourself and for other people. And so I'm really excited at the end of this cohort because I look forward to seeing these women and their businesses show up in Birmingham over and over again. So we are going to start with Sierra Lober of Cha House Beham. And Sierra, actually, if you were at Forge's Big Idea Pitch Night a week ago, even, you got to hear her talk about what she wants to do around tea and community. Sierra, am I right? Are you still actively looking for a space?
Yes, I'm doing pop-ups. I had my
Okay.
first official pop-up yesterday.
You had your first official pop-up yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So we can be on the lookout for more from Cha House Cam through pop-ups and as you guys get ready to have and launch your space. But I want to give you the floor. Go ahead and tell us about Cha House Beham, and we can talk after you share.
Okay, thank you. Hello. So I was traveling around the country in a van, and I had been spending a lot of time alone when I met a new friend in Oakland who invited me to a tea house where they worked. And we had a small little tea ceremony there, and it was just so peaceful and so easy to open up and connect with this new person. And I realized then that tea can really bring people together and make it easier to get to know someone and open up over tea. I already knew at that time that I wanted to do something to build community because my passion is bringing people together. And I've been told throughout my life by multiple friend groups that I'm the glue holding the group together. I'm good at creating an atmosphere that makes people feel open and safe to be free and fully be themselves around me. And I also am good at connecting people that might not have thought they had anything in common. I knew I wanted to use those skills to create some kind of community event space. And then after this tea house experience, I decided I needed to include tea in these future plans, and Cha House was born. In nearly every language in the world, the word for tea translates to some variation of tea or cha, and my nickname has been Cha Cha, so it was meant to be. Cha House will be a community space that's centered around a tea house where you can relax, get comfortable, try something new, express yourself creatively, and slow down with a cup of tea. I know that a lot of us have been feeling isolated lately. I personally have totally forgotten how to speak to people in public, but I'm working on it. It feels like everything's kind of moving at double speed now after slowing down so much for so long. And I want Cha House to be a relaxing environment that allows you to just let go of the stress in your life and connect with others. So let Cha House bring you into community through the power of tea. The power of tea is that you have to sit with it and sit with another person if you're having tea together. Tea calls you to be present in the moment and with the people sharing it with you. And just as no 2 seconds in time are exactly the same, no 2 cups of tea or tea leaves are the same. Every moment is fleeting. You have to sit with it. My goal with Cha House is to share those things that have been healing for me in my life while also providing space for people to share with others what has been helpful for them. So we will have community events such as tea parties, yoga, interactive art, dance, wellness workshops, and more. Cha House will be an alternative to the wired productivity focus of a coffee shop and the kind of escape from reality tendency of a bar atmosphere. We will provide a variety of tea lattes and mocktails in a peaceful space where you can relax and interact with others in new ways and be yourself. Cha House also allows you to indulge your curiosities about tea by having an ever-changing menu of teas from around the world with a few constants that we'll have all the time. The vibe of Cha House will be a nature-inspired lounge with a variety of comfy seating, nooks and crannies, and lots of plants. We want it to feel like a sort of home away from home and a space where you can work remotely, hang out, interact with others, join in a community event, or just feel really cozy and peaceful. We also have a plan to have a room dedicated to traditional tea ceremonies with a minimal Asian tea house feel. So think floor pillows, plain wooden table, handmade ceramics, maybe a water feature. And then we also want to have a fun kids room for themed tea parties like unicorn, fairy, dinosaur, princess, and more with dress-up items and themed snacks and decorations. There are a lot of resources and people scattered around Birmingham, but we're building a community hub that's centered around a tea house to connect the disconnected. We're currently doing pop-ups around town while we look for a location, so follow us at Cha House Beeham to find out about our next pop-up.
So yeah, that was a great job. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so you guys have a chance to ask questions. Uh, this is not just a private conversation. We want to invite you to share your thoughts, your feedback, your ideas, so that Sierra can help create something that is meaningful and interesting for you and for her audience. So feel free to ask questions in the comment section, and we will be sure to include those. So we have our first question. Where is your ideal space? Where in the city do you want to be, Sierra?
I really would like to be on Highland Avenue or Crestwood or Avondale, but I've been looking downtown and really I'm open to anywhere if I find the perfect building, the perfect kind of space that has separate rooms for those events to happen while the tea house is open. I would love an old house, but I really like the Highland Avenue area, with all the parks and plants, and I feel like there's always people walking around with their dogs and that kind of thing. but I'm flexible.
Okay. Are you looking for something that's like a high foot traffic area? Are you looking for something that's kind of off the beaten path? What's your vision?
I am open to both actually. I think being high foot
Okay.
traffic would be great, but not necessary because I think having these kinds of events and community space will be kind of a destination. And I feel like most people find out about things online now anyway, and they're not just walking by things to find out about them. So either one would be okay if I find a great space.
Would be great. Okay. So I want you to talk a little bit more about that first tea experience in California. What of that do you want to replicate here in Birmingham?
Well, I feel like I did a pretty good job yesterday at my first pop up, actually. Went really well in creating that kind of atmosphere that I was trying to replicate from that experience. Just very calming space. Like when you walk into a tea house, it feels, I've been to a lot of different tea houses around the country, and it's like the air is different in there. When you step in, it's just suddenly like you can breathe more peacefully. You're like off the street, out of the city, and it just feels calming and relaxing, kind of like a spa, but with other people. So you're not alone in a room, kind of thing. It just so I really want it to feel very peaceful and calming, and that's also why I want a lot of plants. I want easy breathing, the oxygen in the room, and I just
Yeah.
want it to feel very cozy and calming and easy
Okay.
to open
So
up.
I love that cozy and calming. And we're also talking about kids' tea parties, which I don't necessarily get a cozy and calming vibe from. But we've got a question about the kids' tea parties. Have you decided on your prices? And can you tell me more about what the experience might be like for kids?
So I haven't fully decided, but I've been looking at other places that do kids' tea parties online and in the area, and it seems like typically it's about $30 to $40 per head for those, but that would include dress up materials that they would get to use during, and then some kind of little takeaway that would be themed, and then decorations that are themed and snacks that are themed. So yeah, I would love to have a room that's dedicated solely to that. That's kind of always decorated for kids, and then we would have the table decorations would change each time based on the theme. And I love playing dress up, and I have lots of friends that do. Like we still go all out for Halloween and have costume parties and stuff. So, and I worked with kids most of my life. I taught 4 year olds for like 8 years, and then I taught third grade for 6 years. So I feel like I could do a really good job with that, and I know how to work with kids and interact with them. And I think it can still be cozy and calming for kids too, while also having fun. Kids know how to do both at the same time.
That's true. All right, so we've got a question in the chat from Erica about where you source your tea, and that's a great question.
Yeah, so actually, the friend that I talked about at the beginning that I met in California is my tea sourcer right now. He has been working in tea houses in California for 10 years and also lived and studied with a Chinese tea master for a year. And he has already sourced some for me directly from China and from those tea houses that he already has connections with in California. So, because he already trusts their sources to be organic and reliable, and sometimes it's really difficult to know what you're getting because it's coming from Asia. So people a lot of times they'll say it's one kind of tea and it's really not. So I trust him fully from his experiences and the people he already knows and the connections he has. So he's sourcing it for me currently, and I've gotten some from China and some from Taiwan so far from him.
So we've got a question about pop-ups. Are you planning any pop-ups in the future?
Yes, I am going to skip December, but then I plan on having one a month until I open. So my pop up yesterday was at the Clubhouse on Highland, which my friend owns. It's a venue on Highland Avenue near Rojo, and he has offered his space to me to use for pop ups monthly. So I'm trying to get on his books for late January, and they'll typically be on a Sunday afternoon. So I'm trying to find one of those late January Sunday afternoons for the next one, and I'm already going to collaborate with a local vegan baker for that one, and we're going to come up with a menu of pairings together.
That's great. Sierra, I am so excited to see what happens with Child House Beham, and whether it's in Avondale or Highland Square or Highland Park or wherever it is in Birmingham, you have a customer in me. Thanks so much for sharing your vision with us. And how can people stay in touch with what you're doing?
Just Child House Beeham is on Instagram and Facebook. I do have a website, childhousebeeham.com, but there's nothing there yet. But go ahead and follow on Instagram or Facebook for now, and you can keep up with everything there.
All right, awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice job. All right, so we are coming to Sarah Randolph. And Sarah has been working on an incredible vision around, I'll let her talk about it, but around serving people in Birmingham who have a specific need out of their consignment clothing, but then also people who are trying to do their part to make sure that we still have a planet and an environment to enjoy for years to come, right? So I love, because Sierra's talking about how do we slow down, how do we relax, how do we like nurture ourselves, and I do think that Sarah is a great follower to that, because she's talking about nurturing ourselves in a completely different way. Sarah, good evening. Thanks for being here.
Hey, great to be
So
here.
we look forward to hearing about Revolver Resale. I'm going to let you take it away.
All right. So I'd like to start by asking y'all a rhetorical question. Have you ever been at a store or a business and felt like you were being watched or judged for who you are, what you're wearing, or how you look? How did that make you feel? As a queer person, I understand how hard it can be to find safe, affirming spaces. Let me give you a couple of examples. A friend of mine, who we'll call Bo, he identifies as a man. He has told me about how he doesn't feel comfortable when he's gone to different thrift stores or other local clothing shops around town, and shopped in the women's section. Bo felt judged for trying on women's clothes, pants and dresses and that sort of thing, all for just expressing who he is through, his own unique style and articles of clothing. He's felt so uncomfortable at times that he's walked out of the stores, basically. Another friend of mine, who I'll call Joe, is a Black man living in Birmingham. Joe mentioned a time when he went to a local business and just wanted to use their Wi-Fi and grab a beverage. He had his backpack and his laptop, and he set everything up, got to working. But every time he looked up, he noticed people were staring at him. And then he realized that had been happening ever since he got there. And everyone else in the place was white. So Joe didn't feel welcome. He felt threatened and like he shouldn't be there. He finally just left because he felt like he didn't belong there. I imagine he didn't feel safe. While these are just a couple of examples, I know there are many more stories like these affecting our community, um, especially being in the South and in the Bible Belt. I want to create a new consignment experience for the Birmingham community, a judgment free, harassment free, gender free, inclusive space where all are welcome and can try on whatever they want and are accepted for who they are. At Revolver Resale, our mission is to provide a safe space for the LGBTQIA plus and BIPOC communities while also spreading environmental awareness. Buying things secondhand is a form of recycling and it reduces waste. Fast fashion is just not a sustainable practice for the world that we live in. Furniture made from cheap materials like particle board breaks down really easily and just isn't built to last. I've heard so many times from people in my friend group or just around town who complain about like the poor quality goods that are sold in most stores these days. And like many people that I've spoken with around town, I love vintage furniture that's made from real wood and retro light fixtures and art and things like that that are built to last. So, as an environmentalist who's worked for a conservation nonprofit for over the last 3 years, I know the threats that our environment faces, as many of us do. I also wanted to add that I discovered my dream to open a consignment shop when I spent a year in Portland, Oregon. Um, and in my opinion, they have the best consignment stores in the country. They're one of the greenest cities in the country. And also, I was fortunate enough to get to work for a couple of them and learn all about how they ran their businesses. And I can confidently say that we don't have anything like that here in Birmingham. Consignment also benefits the local community because when you sell your things in my store and things sell, you make money, and also you're supporting a queer-owned local small business in the process. You want quality and unique one-of-a-kind finds in your life, whether it's a new outfit, piece of furniture, or locally made art, and we deliver. Shop Revolver Resale and get ammunition for your personal revolution against fast fashion while benefiting the environment by shopping secondhand. Follow us on Instagram at revolver_resale and stay tuned for upcoming pop ups. We've got several coming up. And also stay tuned for announcements about a brick and mortar store coming to Birmingham in 2022. Thank you so much.
Sarah, I'm so excited to see what you are doing come to life. I am new to this idea of consignment and of buying clothes secondhand because of the impact on the environment. Can you talk about um, being a gender-free space? That is really intriguing to me, and it's not something that I can see I've ever experienced in fashion. How might that look in your space?
Great question, Autumn. I'm getting emotional just talking about it because it's very near and dear to my heart. But basically, just like there won't be a men's and women's clothing section. It's just going to be pants and dresses and skirts and shirts, like no labels. So many people that I know don't identify as just one label. I have non-binary friends, trans friends, or people that just want to try different clothing on. And so I want them to just come in and feel free to try on whatever. And I'll be like, that looks amazing on you. Yes, please wear that.
Mhm. So we are already getting questions in our comments. So I'm going to let this go. Same top question. Ideal space. How does this look? I know because we're talking about fashion. We're talking about trying on clothes, which I love that we're getting back to now. But we're also talking about furniture. Like what does this space look like for you? What
I want to
what do
be
you look for in a space?
I want to be somewhere in Birmingham proper
Okay.
because I love this city. Come next year, like this time next year, it will be 20 years since I moved to Birmingham. So
Oh
I'm
wow.
very committed to this town and I love the city. But I don't necessarily I guess ideally I would have around 1,500 square feet, but like what that looks like can be,
Mhm.
it just depends. I want it to be accessible. So, someone in a wheelchair can get through an aisle really easily or whatever. But, you know, ideally just one level and yeah, furniture and clothing and stuff just all mixed in together.
Yeah, yeah. So I love that you're talking about a physical space. And I know we haven't talked about this. So I'm going to throw this curveball question at you. Is there a digital realm? I know you have your Instagram live and active, and selling online has become more common. Is that a part of how you think about revolver resale? Inform me. Tell me more.
I know a lot of people have moved to online sales since the pandemic, especially. I'm not really interested in that, honestly.
Okay.
I want
Okay.
people, I love I'm an extrovert and I just love talking to people and interacting with people. And I feel also it would benefit the business, obviously, because if you come in looking for a shirt, like maybe you'll leave with a dresser. I don't know.
Right. Right. Okay, or maybe a dresser and then a shirt. Who does, right? Like,
Yeah.
what comes first? Okay, so you talked a little bit about the environmental aspect, and I think that that's something that we haven't always thought about with fashion, or even with our furniture and where our goods comes from. Um, how did you start putting two and two together?
It's just my personal philosophy. I started awakening to environmental issues in my early 20s, which was a long time ago, and over 10, 15 years ago. And I guess it was like, I don't know, when Al Gore came out and was talking about climate change and stuff. And I just started becoming aware of like our impact on the environment and looking into ways that we can make a difference individually. I mean, I know big picture, it's going to require a lot more, but I feel like every little thing I can do to help,
Mhm.
I mean, it couldn't hurt, right? So
Yeah.
I just follow a personal philosophy where I try to buy everything I can secondhand.
So now, if I do not identify as queer, non-binary, or trans, and I think I recycle, right? If that's my part for the environment, why might I come to Revolver Resale? What's there for me?
I want it to be for everyone. I really do. The only people not welcome are people who harass other people, basically. My only rule is be kind. But
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, I just want it to be a safe space where all feel welcome and
Yeah.
comfortable,
Yeah.
and like you're not going to be judged or whatever for who you are.
Yeah. And no, we had a lot of conversations about being a safe place for people of color and what that means to you and how your experience responds to those needs and challenges. How do you think about that in your business?
I had a really good conversation with my friend who I referred to as Joe, and I think it just will take me getting out in these different communities and being a presence in them, going to events or neighborhood meetings, rallies, whatever the case may be, and just like showing with my actions that I support this community because I do 100%.
Yeah. I love it. I think that's wise, right? You can't invite people on your terms. You have to show up on their terms. And if you show up on their terms enough times, then they know that they can come on your terms and be respected and valued. I appreciate that approach. You got wise friends, Sarah. You got good people
I
in your
do.
corner.
I got
So,
good people in my life.
yes. Okay. So I want to um, talk about the fun of this, right? Because you're talking about some really serious, important, like, you're talking about race, you're talking about gender, you're talking about the environment, right? But shopping is fun.
It is fun. And that was like seriously when I was working in the consignment store in Portland, like every single day, it was something new. I get to like personally hand select items, like go through your stuff, pick what I want to go in the store and just like interacting with people and like people being, just trying different things on or, helping people and just talking to people and engaging with the community. It's also community building at the same time.
Yeah. So talk about some of these big items, right? Say I got a dresser or a couch that is loved but time to go. Do you pick things up? How does that transaction work if I'm a consigner?
So this is a one woman show here. And I am limited in that capacity that you will have to bring it to the store. But when it comes to, I'll have all of this when I actually have a website. I'm going to
Okay.
put like rules and guidelines of like what I will and won't take. And also, you'll have to make an appointment and send a picture if you want to bring a large piece of furniture. Because I don't want someone to haul it all the way up there for me to be like, that's a little too worn or whatever. So I will definitely ask that people email me a picture so I can look at it and then we can arrange a time for you to come by. And it's going to be the same. There's a software, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but you can select your appointment time and it'll be set hours. So then it's like scheduling it 30 minutes at a time or whatever. Because where I used to work, they've adapted to move in that direction because when I was working there, it was like first come, first serve. And then you'd end up with tons of things to go through and like you might have a full store and that just doesn't work well. So I'm trying to learn from how they've grown also.
That's great. That's great. Okay, so where can we find you if we want to track your progress and stay engaged?
Right now I'm only on Instagram. It's on my screen here at revolver_resale. I am starting an email list and I will be hopefully getting a website in the coming months just have some other. I'm very green and very new, still in the concept phase, but yeah, I'll be doing pop-ups. I have one coming up December 18th, the holiday market at Saturn. I'm possibly doing one on Sunday, December 12th at Cahaba. It's not Cahaba Bazaar, but there's a vintage market the next day that I've been invited to be a part of as well. But I'll announce all of this on my Instagram.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we look forward to hearing more, and thank you for reimagining consignment for our community. I'm so grateful to you for bringing this idea to us.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So next up, we're still shopping, y'all. Daphne Ozturk is going to talk about Solilo and Co. Daphne is a fellow SCAD alumni. She's a Savannah College of Art and Design alumni. We share this background, which is not widely enjoyed of being coming from industrial design and the making of things and goods and products. We have stomped in the same halls, a few years apart, but we have stomped in the same halls at SCAD. Solilo and Co. is really about, well, I don't want to tell it. I should let Daphne tell it. Daphne, I want you to talk about Solilo and Co. and how you came to this idea of the jewelry brand that you developed and what its meaning is for you and what we can look for in your products. So take it away, Daphne.
Yeah. All right. So we live in an industrialized world with everything mass produced, and it feels like we've lost the personal touch that comes with handcrafted items. This became even more obvious when we were staying at home in spaces that didn't quite reflect our individuality. In order to honor ourselves, we need to create a space that encourages and welcomes us as unique human beings. For me, putting on a fun pair of earrings can change my whole day. They can be a conversation starter with other people, or just something that makes me feel good about myself. I wanted to provide that feeling, provide that joy for other people as well. My goal is to create pieces that offer a unique way for people to express themselves, whether it's the things they wear or the things they surround themselves with. I found out the best way for me to create the unique pieces that I was looking for was through resin. But how did I get to resin? So, when I was studying industrial design in Savannah, I worked with many different materials and techniques. One of my favorite creations I've made at school was this snakeskin bag. But what I've enjoyed most about this bag was the small resin cast piece I made for it. The Spanish moss cast inside acts as a reminder of the way the moss would slowly sway with the wind as I would bike down Forsyth Park. Resin casting allowed me to encapsulate a feeling, a memory, a moment in time I never wanted to forget. That was in 2019. I didn't use resin again until 2021, during the time when I was feeling uninspired at my desk job and tired of the isolation like everyone else during the pandemic. At the time, I knew I had to create, more specifically, create something with my hands, but I didn't know what. I went through a period of time where I felt lost and was paralyzed by the thought of ever creating anything. When I first touched resin again and created my first goddess statue, something shifted. I was suddenly excited to wake up and create, excited to experiment, to try new techniques, colors, flowers, molds, you name it. I was always looking forward to the next day because it takes a day for resin to cure. And whenever I demolded one of my creations, it felt like unwrapping a gift. When I started creating more than I could keep myself, I started selling my statues and jewelry on Etsy. I will never forget my first custom order and the glowing review from the customer because I made exactly what they wanted. The positive feedback I received online is what gave me the confidence to start Solilo & Co. It's allowed me to create unique pieces made for unique people. As I've started going to local pop-ups, my customers have been delighted by how my pieces are bold, vibrant, and powerful. And I could describe my customers using the exact same words. I still love creating custom orders, but now I have a wide range of products available for purchase. If you can see some of them behind me. When you buy a piece from Solilo & Co., you are buying a piece that will elevate your style and spark new conversations. To find out more and buy your own piece, head to @Solilo & Co. on Instagram or to www.solilo.co. And also, my next pop-up will be at Cahaba Bazaar on December 11th. Thank you so much for listening.
Okay, stay. I want to see your slides again. Go back to that one with the leaf
Okay.
in it.
Let's see.
It's on the fly, and we didn't talk about this. This is not planned.
This one?
Yes. Okay. What are those?
So those are actually leaves I've picked up myself. So I
Okay.
do have some where I just buy the flowers, but I just pick up leaves that I find pretty and then I dry them and then I put them in my work. So this is literally from like 3 weeks ago, both of those red leaves over there. They're
Okay.
from around the corner from my house.
And so, how big are we talking? Is this like this big? Is
I'll show you.
this big? Oh yes. I love it. Okay.
So this one's that one. So this is a coaster I've made. And it
Okay.
has gold edges right here. And it's like,
That's neat.
if this is the glass, this is basically a bit of an oversized coaster. But yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good. Thank you. Then now I get it. Because when I think of your jewelry, I think of your earrings. And so those are much bigger, but I love it because you have different purposes, right? It's not just jewelry, but it's home goods as well. All right.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a scatty coming to the house. I love it. Okay. Let me get back on my job. All right. I get to find the questions. Okay. So they love your work, first of all. So congrats on
Thank you.
making beautiful, meaningful pieces. You said it's a goddess statue.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you come up with that idea of that's what you wanted to make in resin? And what's been the reception to those?
So those are really one of my favorite pieces I do. Because that's the first thing I really started with before even earrings.
Okay.
I really just saw it on TikTok one day and I was like, oh, I could do this. And then just, went all into it. Because I already knew how to, do the resin bit. But so yeah, as I started, I'll pick one up here too. As I started like expanding the line for it, I also like wanted to incorporate different body types into
Okay.
it. So not just your like typical, slim figures. I wanted to also include more plus size and more diversity in my figurines as well.
That's amazing. Okay, so you're speaking to women from and men potentially from different body types and backgrounds and who want resin in their lives. I think that the things that you put, yes, Erica, I was just going there. So Erica asked my question: do you make keepsakes from other people's items? Can someone bring you a flower from their wedding bouquet? Can they bring you, their grandmother's pearls, whatever? Can you put other people's items in resin?
That's funny because really the first time I've been seriously asked that, like twice, was this past weekend at the night market at Pepper Place. Two people came separately asking if I could put, it was the flowers from their dad's funeral or flowers from a wedding bouquet. And I'm definitely not opposed to the idea. And I was actually doing some research on like bigger 3D molds to cast those in it in a beautiful way with like more color and working with that person to commemorate whatever flower it is, really how they envision it.
Yeah, yeah. That's a really neat idea, and maybe we're thinking about it because it's the end of the year, it's gift giving season, right? And so we're thinking about the treasures that we have and what to do with the things that we treasure. So that's really neat. So I know you are creative and you are a creator, and I see that coming in all the different kinds of things that you have in your product line. What else are you thinking about? What other forms or what other materials are you experimenting with? I want a little sneak peek for the audience.
So I'm constantly thinking about new things, but I guess I do love the experimenting part so much that I end up doing things like 2 or 3 times and then moving on to the next thing and then the next thing. And
Yeah.
I've lately just been trying to just take a second to be like, okay, I haven't done anything with like this mold I just bought and is sitting around, or this thing. So just like looking back and seeing, okay, what are the things that like have more potential than I've given them the chances to.
Okay.
So that's what I've been doing. But I do have some like bigger dishes like this big that I haven't done much with it, that I definitely want to put more in the forefront. And I do have like one Christmas earring that's gonna be for the season. And I am making some like flower ornaments for the Christmas season. So stuff like that is what is currently and I guess we'll see what happens in the coming months.
We will see. And I know you said so at Solilo and Co. Can you tell me about the name? I want to ask that since the beginning.
So that's really so I'm from Turkey, from Istanbul. The name doesn't necessarily have much to do with it, except for the fact that I used to keep this book of words that just book of English words that sound interesting to me.
Okay.
And soliloquy was one of those. And I was just looking through these words and I'm like, oh, these words are like so pretty. And then so Solilo and Co is just really a name play around soliloquy, which I think is a really pretty word.
I like it because soliloquy is like an individual presentation, and it can go to the uniqueness of your jewelry and the uniqueness of the creations. I don't know. There's a there. I like it. It's a good name. It's a really
very dramatic and theatrical, but you know.
Yes, like your work. But I love it because even though your work is dramatic and theatrical, it still has a place. It doesn't overwhelm, but if you get closer, like it asks you to pay attention to it. And so it's really, really good work. So Daphne, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for the hard work that you've put in, and I look forward to seeing you at your next pop-up, which you said is Caja Bazaar is where you'll be?
Yes, it's on December 11th at Caja Bazaar.
Okay, love it. Awesome. Thanks for being a part of our class.
Thank you.
All right, so we are getting all your Christmas shopping done because Latanya is up next. And Latanya, I loved hearing her describe her customer because she said her customer is her. But when I heard her talk about her customer, I was like, that is this girl sitting right here all of the time. So I didn't tell you that, but I was just like, yeah, okay, yeah. So Latanya runs 532, and it is a boutique, an online boutique currently, for a very lovely, wonderful, incredible woman, and the people in her life who want to make sure she has a good Christmas. I'm going to let her talk more about how she developed this amazing brand and what you can look for at her website. Go ahead, Tanya, take it away.
Thank you so much, Autumn, for such a wonderful introduction. Fashion has been a part of me since I was a child who lived at 532 Country Club Drive in a small Alabama town. I watched in admiration from our shared bedroom as my mother effortlessly coordinated and accessorized her clothes and styled her hair to complement. She possessed an inherent creativity for love and a love for fashion that transferred to me. I was a well-dressed kid. From every holiday to just because, my mom would braid and style my hair and clothe me in the most stylish attire. Our modest neighborhood was my runway. I dreamed of one day owning a clothing boutique. However, I never believed it was something I could achieve. There were no entrepreneurs in my family, and I always thought it was a difficult task that only certain people were fortunate enough to accomplish. I was taught that I should perform well in school, go to college, find a good job with the company that I could retire with. And so my journey began. I finished high school in the top 5% of my class and became only the second person in my family behind my grandfather to obtain a college degree. I started my career with a prominent company a few months after graduation and held several positions over a 22-year span, from customer service to leadership to sales. Although I had many successes throughout my corporate career, I couldn't escape the feeling that I was made for more. My plan was to retire early in a few years until things started to rapidly change in the company. Layoffs and restructuring led to uncertainty about the future. And in an unexpected turn of events, I found myself unemployed in the midst of a pandemic. Now, prior to all of these changes, I did recall seeing an advertisement on Instagram from a business I'd patronized about consulting services for prospective entrepreneurs. I'd seen it before, but I overlooked it at the time because I was comfortable in my job. However, in a moment of pressure, I reached out to the business owner and I paid the service fee. And before I knew it, I was taking steps to form my business, and I leapt completely from my comfort zone. And in April of 2021, 532 was officially born. 532 is a curated collection of elevated basics and statement attire and accessories for the woman who appreciates comfort, style, and exclusivity. For the fashionista who knows that being best dressed every day isn't realistic, but she wants to make a confident style statement regardless. We do simple, effectively, and bold, effortlessly. 532 is a convenient offering that helps you take the guesswork out of getting dressed. We provide style tips and ideas on how to wear our products. Our goal is to offer quality, timeless merchandise that you will cherish for a lifetime. 532 as a business name felt appropriate, a way to pay homage to the place where I once dreamed and to the woman who passed along her gifts of style and creativity to me. I am so blessed to now be sharing my vision and passion with the world. I started out small, selling things on Facebook and Instagram. And a few weeks ago on November 1st, I officially launched 532.com. I invite you to please visit the site and join the fashion and style experience. Thank you so much.
All right. So I do hope you'll go visit her site when we're done talking. But you are all over your site and I love it. So talk about this experience of stepping from this corporate environment into fashion entrepreneurship and then stepping out into a bold way front and center. Were you nervous?
Well, so I've been on social media for several years, and naturally I'm an introvert. So no, that wasn't easy to jump out and put myself out there like that. But I just could not escape that deep down inside. I knew I just love fashion. I love style. And so I would start by, like, my husband and I would go to dinner and I'd have on an outfit. I'd say, hey, take my picture, post it on Facebook. And people would give me all this feedback. Oh, I like that. Where'd you get that? And so many people would ask me, why are you not doing your own thing? Why aren't you blogging? Why aren't you selling clothes? And again, as I mentioned in my story, it's never something I thought that I could do. And I wanted to continue to take that easy way out and, stay in the corporate realm. But little did I know that every experience in corporate prepared me for where I am today, from the customer service position to the customer service leadership position to sales, which is something that I never saw on my career path, but here I am selling. So I'm just grateful for every experience. And I definitely, yes, it's overwhelming at times to believe that this time last year, I was waiting on my every 2-week paycheck, and, it was comfortable. It was security. I worked so long. I'd had a very generous salary. So, it was like, it was easy. And I thought that that's what I would be doing. And then here we are almost a year later, and I'm on my own. And it is so rewarding.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so talk about being the buyer for the line, for the brand. How do you decide? Are you always shopping? How does that work?
I am always shopping. And so I found I'm the type of person who's all over the place. So the way I dress, it really depends on my mood for the day. So some days I may want to be super casual, but I'm always going to add an accessory, right? There's always going to be something that's going to stand out about what I wear. Sometimes I may want to go in full, avant-garde mode, ruffles and bows and pearls and diamonds, bling. So it's real. I'm out of the box. I'm all over the place. And so that's why for me, it's the woman who's on that spectrum of I can go here or I can go there. So yes, it's a lot of buying and shopping. I do hope in the future to incorporate a team of people to help me, with buying. I do have a friend now that I'm actually reaching out to, and I'm kind of showing her some things. And, getting her insight and her perspective as well. So as I grow, I do anticipate taking more of a back seat in the business.
So you've been online for a month already.
Yes.
Not even a month. Okay. So Erica said she jumped on the site.
I'm laughing at Erica's comment.
She jumped on the site already, but she's in love with it. Okay. What have you seen so far in terms of the trends of what people are buying or what surprised you about your online presence?
Yes. So a lot of people, I'm assuming, because we're still kind of in the pandemic mode, the relaxed mode, a lot of people like the sweaters and the like the comfy sets. So I may start adding more of those things. I do have some pieces that are more statement, but yeah, that's what it's like. People are still kind of going for the more relaxed and casual look.
Okay. So we've got a question in the chat. I love it. Home Candle Company. I love that you are branding yourself first. That's a co-starter move. He says that he followed the prescribed path until he couldn't. But how has it been for you going from this high achieving, very structured corporate lifestyle to an unmapped entrepreneur journey where every day is different and you've got to structure yourself?
Yes, it's been absolutely stressful. So on the end where I'm so excited to finally be following my life path and my journey, it is the unknown that scares me. It's I went from knowing that this income was coming in to now being solely dependent on my husband and solely dependent on customer behavior. So that part of it truly scares me. But every day it's self-talk. I just have to keep going. For as many times that I've doubted myself, I have received some type of confirmation, whether it be a random message from a customer that says, I really love what I purchased from you. Thank you so much for the great customer service. I felt so confident when I went out today in this garment. So it's like every time I doubt myself or wonder, do I need to go back and get a job? I get that reassurance that I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah. Well, what I love about you guys at this stage in your entrepreneurship is you're in the process of learning customer behavior, right? And so what does the customer do? When do they do it? How can I make sure that what we're doing works with their lifestyle, with the way that they're thinking? When you said comfy sets, I'm like, everybody I keep hearing says it's going to be a cold winter, it's going to be a cold winter, it's going to be a cold winter. What does that make me want? A sweater, right? I want all of the sweaters right now.
Right.
But I want them to be cuter because now I still got to show up on the Zoom from this way up, right? And so We're looking for, I figured it all out for the summer and now I got to figure it out for winter again, right? And so we're thinking about that. But what I love about where you guys are is you're learning customer behavior. And as you learn customer behavior, then you will all each be able to drive customer behavior. Right now, you get to tell them, here's what you want to have for Christmas. Here's what you want to have this winter. Here's what you want to have. Here's the tea you want to drink. Here's the statue that you want on your mantle, right? Here is the furniture that you want to come to your home, right? Don't you love this one of a kind piece? And that's really exciting to see. We've got a couple of questions in the chat. Sherry Ross says that everything that she wants is sold out. So you got some more to do. Everything she wants is sold out. You got a customer waiting for you to buy some more stuff and sell it to her.
Listen, I tell you, I'm extremely grateful for the response that 532 has received. And a lot of times I want to do so much more, but of course I'm on a limited budget. So, I get a few pieces and I want to buy it all, but I truly, I have to pace myself with that. So, but thank you. There will be some things that I'll restock though.
Okay. And Erica asks, will you feature or offer items from local or small designers? That is a good question. We're always looking for outlets for local designers.
Yes, that is definitely something that I envision for the future, Erica. And not just locally, but any handmade or handmade designs. I recently had 2 necklaces that I featured last week that are actually made in Africa. They are made in Kenya. And I reached out and connected with this person and we've become friends, virtual friends. And So I would love to incorporate more of those things for sure. I've got a lot of research to do though.
I love it. I love it. But you know what? You have a way to do it. You have an audience. And so thank you, Jackie, for putting up your site again.
Thank you.
532.com. What's coming up next? What can we look forward to seeing from 532?
So in the next week, I'll be releasing a few more items. I'm really excited about a dress that I have for Christmas. Very frilly and girly, so I'm excited about that. But in the future, I always thought that I wanted to just keep this online presence, but I really do believe that at some point there will be brick and mortar. So stay
Ooh,
tuned.
you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, you did.
Right? Look for it. Look for it. There's going to be a 532, or there could be a 532 in Birmingham's physical footprint. Tanya, thank you so much. I love the work that you've done and the energy that you brought to our class and the way that you continue to challenge yourself and grow. I am excited about what's to come for your business.
Thank you, Autumn.
All right. Take care. All right. We've got one more guest tonight, and this is Miss Valeria Watkins. Now, Valeria started our session with one idea, and then I look up halfway through, and there's a completely different conversation going on. I said, "Okay, all right, we're gonna go with it, right?" And that's not unheard of. But Valeria was always keeping me on my toes in the class together. I'm gonna let her tell you about Urban Polish, and she is. I feel like so far tonight there's been a theme, right? There's been a theme about taking care of each other, taking care of ourselves, taking care of our community. And Valeria wants to take care of us as entrepreneurs and business owners while we do it. And so I'm going to let Valeria tell you all about Urban Polished.
Sorry. Hi, I am Valeria with Urban Polish. Autumn is correct. When I started Co-Starters, I actually said I wanted to do a lifestyle brand, and me and Autumn actually went back and forth. But Urban Polish is actually a brand consultant agency. Excuse me. That aids our clients in connecting consciousness, concepts, platforms, and possibilities. The idea actually started out while helping a friend manage her Facebook and Instagram page. She was a stylist at the time. So I was helping her with fashion shows and photo shoots, and I was doing a lot of the behind the scenes work, as I actually continue to do now with a lot of my friends. So I wanted to kind of wrap that all up into one business and share that with the world. So that's where the idea from Urban Polish came from. The acronym is UP, and UP is for elevation. So originally, when helping my friend with fashion, Urban Polish was supposed to be a luxury T-shirt brand, and the brand was about positive messaging and conscious messaging. So I guess in that concept, you can consider me a brand activist. But that's the background for where the name Urban Polish and the acronym UP come from. Excuse me. So at Urban Polish, we provide brand positioning for creatives, entrepreneurs, and people with passion who are looking to elevate their brand identity while staying true to their why and connecting to the communities that they serve. Our clients have options for short and long-term brand strategies that will better position them in the markets that they serve. Excuse me. We help our clients create creative marketing campaigns and social media content that is uniquely tailored for our clients to reach their targeted audience. Please follow us at Urban Polish on Instagram for future updates. Sorry.
All right. Valeria, thank you. I'm going to let you take a minute if you want to get some water. So I love what Valeria is doing, because we are all talking about building businesses, but we also need people to help us think about how do we talk about our businesses and how do we make sure that we connect with our customer. You use the word brand, Valeria, and I know that you might still be getting you're getting some water and getting back to us. But when you come back, I want you to talk about what a brand is, because I think that we talk about businesses, we talk about products, but what do you mean when you say brand, and how can your work help us make sure that our brand is solid? Oh, she's frozen. You know what? I think we're going to hold off just a second. Valeria is going to come back to us in just a second. So, while I've got you, I get to fill the airtime just a little bit. So I want to make sure that you guys know that Create Birmingham does co-starters a couple of times a year. Jessica, are you already filling for the next cohort?
Yeah, so we launch our next cohort the 30th, if you want to be a big round number. Our 30th cohort will start right after Martin Luther King. It's huge. So if you don't know, this is a huge family. We are now, I feel like I should pull up the statistics. I have them conveniently open, so now I just want to tell everybody. We have like
Can I guess the number?
280. Oh no, yeah, go ahead. I feel I just spat it out. I'm sorry. We have like 285. It might not be counting correctly, so we might have closer to 300. But it's a huge number of co-starters graduates, and what I love is that they all end up supporting each other. And it's fun to go around town and go to new spaces, and I like going in and talking about like or seeing co-starters graduates in space with other co-starters. So I know like in this cohort, Sierra had her pop up and Sarah and Daphne were both there. And so watching co-starters graduates support other people, interacting with other people, but knowing that we've also, they're also supporting each other and sharing that like very important feedback on how to grow. It's a big family.
Okay.
But
so
now we have
breaking news.
Breaking news, Valeria is back, so I'll let her actually finish her pitch, and then we'll talk more about co-starters.
Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you, guys. Sorry about that. I'm not sure where it got cut off, but my pitch, I thought I was finished.
Yes. And so we get to talk. We get to have our conversation. And so what I want you to do, you use the word brand a lot. And that's not something that I think everybody talks about. We talk about a business or we talk about a product, but can you talk more about what is a brand and how do we need to think about it in order to know how you can help us?
So I'm really big on staying true to who you are or yourself or your brand. I use the word brand, and that's identity. Who are you? What is your company? What is your message? What are your intentions? So intentions for me are really big. What are your intentions? And sometimes with some companies that get lost, or services, it's lost. The message is lost. I'm a consumer, so I love Aldi, Apple, and Aldi, Apple, Amazon, and Chick-fil-A. They're the best at what they do. Apple, as far as packaging, they stand behind their product. Those are companies that, for me, branding says it all.
Okay. So now tell me about the kinds of businesses that you want to work with and the entrepreneurs and business owners that you want to work with. Who's your customer?
I was actually told right before the meeting, when kind of reviewing my pitch, that if I use people with the passion, that was a little bit too broad. But
Okay.
and I was like, I bet Autumn is gonna say that too. But
I didn't have to say it. I didn't have to say it.
In true Valeria fashion, I stuck to it. And the reason why I say people with the passion, because people with the passion sometimes struggle with turning their passion into a purpose that is profitable. And it is possible. Those are the true creatives and the business owners and the entrepreneurs. They start out as people with a passion.
Okay.
So they may not be in that category yet, that they know that they're a creative or that they know they're a business owner.
Yeah. So we've got a question coming in from the chat. It says, have you considered offering products such as digital content for purchase to help your clients find your why templates or online courses?
I haven't. That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Good thought. I need to work on it.
I think for the last 5 seconds we've been thinking about it. How's that? It just came to mind. Well, I want to make sure that I give you more room to talk about urban polished, because I think that's a very, like, even you said people with a passion, but urban polished is speaking to a specific customer and an idea and an identity that you're presenting. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
So Urban Polish, again, it started out um, as a t-shirt brand. I wanted to some kind of way put conscious messages on a t-shirt, maybe just one word, and put a movement behind that word, not just wear a t-shirt. But that's where it kind of started out with the lifestyle brand at first. Like if I wear a t-shirt that says uplift, everything about me and my brand has to uplift the people around me and my community. So Urban Polish is more about balance. The colors are black and white. It's about balance and then elevation.
Okay. Okay.
And
And
it's not, it's really a play on words as well. So it's being able to do both, hence the hat and dangly earrings. It's being able to mix the mediums.
urban and polished. So you said you are at
Luxury
Urban
based.
Polished on Instagram.
Right. There's nothing there yet. People who
Okay.
really know me know I shy away from Instagram, me personally, or social media. I've always been a behind the scenes type person, which I think is why being helping other brands is kind of true to who I am.
Where you want to be. Okay. So what comes next? What can we look forward to from Urban Polished? Oh, you just muted yourself.
Uh, so
Go ahead. Oh, there you are.
What's next is that Urban Polish will actually be out in the world. You'll see us reaching. Actually, I have a local brand that in Birmingham, a local brand that I actually want to reach out really bad to and work with. She doesn't even know it yet. I can't say it, but I want to reach out to her because I'm so excited. Because I
All
get
right.
compliments on her product all the time. Um, and I just want to share that with her and see if we can like work together or collaborate.
Okay. All right. So you're seeking new clients.
I'm seeking new clients. Yes.
All right. That's great. Valeria, thank you so much. I'm so glad that we got a chance to get to know each other through this class. So I believe that everybody's going to come back up. Is that what's happening now? Let me check my notes and make sure I'm not just making stuff up. All right, here are all our people. Y'all did such a good job. Yeah, this is such a good group. It's such a good group of ideas, of work ethic, of discipline, of persistence, and just deep thinking, but then also coming from the deep thinking and putting into the work that is necessary to make sure that your businesses succeed. This is, you are part of what I'm thankful for this week. We're going into Thanksgiving, and for all the other reasons as how it exists, it doesn't matter. It's a day for gratefulness and joy and connecting with people who matter to us. I don't know what happens next, so I'm going to give my microphone back to Jessica.
Okay.
And she's going to wrap us up. I've enjoyed this
Yeah.
tremendously.
So I'll just finish talking a little bit about co-starters. So if you're interested in the next cohort, you can head to our website, createbirmingham.org, and register for that. If you have any questions about what the program is, feel free to reach out and ask us. We typically meet once a week for 11 weeks, usually from 6 to 9, typically Monday nights. Hopefully the one that is in January will meet in person again. Because while this is great, in-person cohorts are a whole lot better. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there. And this is it's a great program. You guys are joining a huge family. And I want to reiterate that we do not go away. As many other co-starters graduates that are here know, the road does not stop here. Our support doesn't stop here. Again, you're a part of a huge family. Erica can tell you that she's a part of the family. And so, yeah, we're excited to hear about what you guys are doing, and keep up with you guys. And that's basically about it. Congratulations, everybody.
Yeah. I want to say thank you to our guest speakers. We have some audience members. I saw Jamie. I saw Jared. Erica is just she's a worker. She's a team.
Second coolest person alive.
Yes, but thank you to all our guest speakers who helped share your stories and your experiences, especially if you were Co-Stars alumni. I think most, if not all of them were. Thank you for all the things that you do to make sure that we are passing along good information and sharing of your time. If you're always welcome to come back. We've never had any bad guest speakers in this cohort. And I look forward to the day that you guys, Sarah, Daphne, Sierra, Tanya, Valeria, that you guys are guest speakers for future Co-Stars cohorts and you get to share your stories of your entrepreneurship. All right. That's all I'm going to say.
That's officially it. Thanks y'all so much. And keep up to date with all of these. You'll find them on our website, greatbirmingham.org. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye.